Weekend weather. A week of westerly winds, showers, and mild air across the United Kingdom. Hello to all of you tuning in to the weekend weather update on Mr. Tien's channel. Today, we will embark on a journey to explore the sky full of shifts and surprises across the UK in the next 48 hours. A true roller coaster weather pattern, with sudden showers, brief dry breaks, and occasional rare patches of brightness. And yes, if you were hoping for a perfectly calm weekend, then oh my goodness, that wish might be a bit too luxurious. But don't be too disappointed yet, because amid the passing showers, there will still be dry interludes long enough for you to stroll around, go shopping, or simply breathe in that classic British autumn winter air. And, oh wow, to put it correctly, what's happening in the upper levels over the next few weeks is honestly not for the faint-hearted. We have a mix of high uncertainty, unexpected jet stream kinks, tugged low-pressure systems, a shaking PNA, conflicting atmospheric oscillation phases, and especially dynamic signals that even major models like ECMWF and GFS are arguing vigorously about. Alright, fasten your seatbelts. We're diving in. Showers everywhere, westerly winds taking the lead. This afternoon, thick cloud systems and moisture-laden air masses from the Atlantic will continue pushing deeper into the UK. That means, yes, you guessed it, showers are making a comeback on the weather map. The first places to receive rain: northeast England, southeast Scotland, some parts of Northern Ireland. These areas will experience bands of showers arriving in waves, sometimes heavy, sometimes light, as if the sky can't decide whether to rain hard or not. But don't think it's only a few unlucky regions. This round of showers has a very clear movement strategy. Where the westerly winds blow, the rain follows. Westerly winds, the main character of today. A fairly strong westerly flow is sweeping through West Wales, southwest England, western coastal regions. These winds will not only bring rain, but also throw in some extras. A chance of hail. Some isolated lightning strikes. So if you're planning to go out, do bring a raincoat, and don't forget to check the forecast every few hours, as today's weather will be as moody as an action movie switching between fast and slow scenes. Mild air returns. Temperatures rising to 11 to 12 degrees Celsius. Good news at last. Even though it's rainy and windy, the westerly winds blowing from the warmer offshore waters will make the air across the UK noticeably milder than earlier this week. Expected temperatures 11 to 12 degrees Celsius across many regions. Only the windy western areas may feel slightly colder than the actual temperature. In temporarily dry spots in the north and east, conditions may even feel quite pleasant, as last night's winds weakened, leaving the air noticeably less chilly. A temporary calm, light winds, frost concerns appear. By nightfall, the weather map will be clearly divided into two very distinct worlds: northern regions and highlands. Still some scattered showers, especially across the Scottish Highlands, high terrain in northern England. Rain won't be too widespread, but enough to make roads slippery, and evening travel something to be cautious about. Most other regions, dry intervals, partially clearing skies. Some areas may even see moonlight or twinkling stars. But when the sky clears, you know what happens next, right? Temperatures drop immediately. Some areas may see dew formation, light frost in a few remote northern locations. However, tonight will generally be milder than recent nights, especially in southern regions, western regions, as another incoming rain band is quietly approaching from offshore. Sunday morning, a true westerly morning. Humid, cloudy, and rain in tow. As we wake up on Sunday morning, many western areas will be greeted by a gift from the Atlantic. Thick clouds plus heavy rain. This is a broad, moist band pushing straight into the Irish coastline, southwest England, areas bordering the Irish Sea. Some coastal spots may encounter heavy rain in bursts, short periods of strong gusts. Temperatures rise surprisingly fast. Thanks to warm southwest winds, temperatures will jump into double digits early. 10 to 11 degrees Celsius in many places at the start of the day, 14 degrees Celsius in southwestern regions, incredibly warm for this time of year. Despite the heavy rain, it won't feel very cold. Quite an interesting setup for this Sunday. Sunday noon and afternoon. Thick clouds expand, rain pushes northward. As rain eases in the southwest, the skies will be left with a thick blanket of gray cloud. Humidity stays high as marine warmth spreads inland. But before you celebrate the easing rain, a new zone of heavy rain forms, this time targeting Scotland. On Sunday afternoon, Scotland becomes the hotspot for unsettled weather, with prolonged heavy rain, strong west-southwest winds, potential travel disruptions, especially on mountain passes, coastal routes, urban areas prone to water pooling. Advice: if you're planning long-distance travel on Sunday afternoon, do check your route carefully to avoid inconvenience. Outlook for next week. Low pressure from the south and west. More rain, more wind. And here comes the part everyone's most curious about. Will next week improve? Unfortunately, the rain is not stopping. The weather lesson plan for next week: wet, windy, occasionally unstable. A low-pressure system is moving in from the south, the west. This system may generate more showers, increase wind gusts, bring conditions capable of causing disruptions from transport to outdoor activities. More detailed forecasts will follow in upcoming updates. But overall, you should prepare umbrellas, waterproof jackets, and a bit of patience for Britain's famously fickle weather. Summary: a typical UK weekend. Rain, wind, mild air, and plenty of variability. In the next 48 hours, our weather will be wet in many areas, marked by strong westerly winds, occasionally featuring hail and lightning, broken up by short dry intervals, milder than usual for the season. So make sure you're well prepared when heading out, and don't forget to stay updated so you won't get ambushed by sudden showers. The global atmospheric canvas, a network of oscillations shaking violently. First, let's look at the planetary scale oscillation grid map. My gosh, everyone, a series of large-scale oscillation phases are simultaneously interacting, and you know it already. When these climate heavyweights push-pull each other at the same time, what happens below is always chaos. PNA, the center of the tremor. The PNA is not staying still. It is oscillating strongly between states, leading to phase deviations in the mid to upper level westerly flow. This is extremely important because it affects Rossby wave amplitude, opens or locks pathways for troughs, and determines where the jet kink will occur. EPO, increasing phase shift frequency. The EPO is in an unsettled state, causing the North Pacific region to be repeatedly reshaped from upper-level high pressure to low pressure. MJO, moving but not strong enough to dominate. Many people are waiting for the Black Horse MJO to enter phases 6 to 7 to 8 to trigger strong east-west propagation effects. But no, this time the MJO push is not truly overwhelming. In short, these three oscillations are out of phase, putting the global atmospheric system into a state of high uncertainty. Tropospheric jet stream, impulses nearly losing stability. Now we move to the most intense part, the jet stream. Look closely at the maps from GM and ECMWF. You will see something astonishing. The jet stream is nearly losing stability across several time frames. Notable phenomena. The jet stream repeatedly breaks and reconnects. Patches of divergence and convergence crowd abnormally. Strong westerly streaks plunge deeply, but are bent abruptly within just 12 to 24 hours. In other words, it's like watching a stretched guitar string snap back, generating a series of chaotic oscillations. When the jet stream becomes unstable, you can be 100% certain surface weather will start spinning wildly. Tugged and pulled troughs, a short mid-term combo impact. This is the dangerous part of the analysis. A series of lows and atmospheric troughs are being continuously pushed and pulled, forming a combo of influences. Short-term, 2472H, medium-term, 3 to 7 days, and even 8 to 12 days, high uncertainty. All models show, over the Northwest Pacific, bipolar O-axis, closed lows, open lows, and secondary vortices appearing like mushrooms after rain. Some vortices are pulled northward, others are drawn toward the equator. System cores move very fast. Even though ECMWF and GFS agree on the direction, they differ sharply in amplitude. This creates an irregular pressure field, causing surface convergence zones to twist and warp, sometimes widening, sometimes tightening. This leads to unusual rainfall, convective clouds developing in burst-pause patterns, operational planning difficulties because models constantly update, GM layer analysis, tracking dynamic flow from upper levels downward. Now, this is the part atmospheric researchers will absolutely love. GM gives us a layer-by-layer view, from upper, mid, lower levels, showing the atmospheric dynamic pathways clearly. Upper levels, 200 to 300 horsePFA, jet stream twisting bizarrely, upper-level divergent zones preconditioning strong convection. Some divergence patches appear too early, breaking structural stability. Mid-levels, 500 horsePA, O-axis fractured, mid-level vortices not staying fixed, multiple spreading open vortex points directing surface weather. Lower levels, 850 to 925 horsePHAV, moisture transport increases, decreases unpredictably, offshore convergence bands constantly shifting position. Some disturbances appear suppressed by unstable upper levels unable to intensify. In short, the three levels are not synchronized, making detailed forecasting harder than normal. Vortex clusters by region. Patch-based disturbance analysis. Here's the signature specialty of deep meteorological analysis, identifying vortex clusters by region. GM and ECMWF both reveal North Pacific high density of low-pressure holes. Rossby wave interactions cause them too. Sometimes close cleanly, sometimes open up and disappear within 30 to 40 hours. West, Northwest Pacific. Some secondary vortices are deflected by upper-level winds, erratic trajectories. East, Northeast Asia. Strong PNA oscillations, vortices continually shifting, sending dynamic ripple effects into Southeast Asia. Summary, complete 10-day forecast frame. After synthesizing, 1. Medium-high uncertainty, overlapping oscillation phases, unstable jet stream equals hard to issue point-specific forecasts. 2. Marine convergence bands appear, disappear quickly, no persistence, no fixed position. 3. Risk of strong but short-lived convection. Upper levels are refusing to stay still, with divergence patches shifting constantly. 4. Extremely complicated medium range. From day +5 to +9, ECMWF and GFS strongly disagree, with huge amplitude divergence. This is the most difficult forecast period. So that's it, folks. The upcoming weather picture is truly a chaotic symphony of the global atmosphere. Major oscillations out of phase, unstable jet stream, upper, mid, lower layers each doing their own thing. Vortices forming densely but collapsing quickly. And models are, oh gosh, unable to agree on amplitude. We'll have to monitor hour by hour, because just one small jet stream kink could change the entire picture. If you enjoyed this report, follow the channel for continuous updates, because the coming period is going to be wild. See you in the next analysis.